Okay, we're starting off with 5 sins. We're making us wait almost 15 months for this. In 2020, you made 4 everything wrong was on Sonic 1, 2, CD, and Spinball, each of which were a minute long, but then abandoned the series out of nowhere. I get wanting to give Sonic 3&K its own dedicated everything wrong with, but waiting this long to make what amounted to an 8-minute video without leaving so much as a comment telling us you wanted to take a break from these is a little ridiculous.
I guess we've all been wrong this whole time. Apparently the full name of this game is Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles.
Really? This is what you start with? Okay, ignoring how bad that joke was, how is that something wrong with this game? I get making jokes for the sake of levity, I do the same thing, but they should A, be extras for your points, or B, be added to a joke counter instead of the sin counter. This is why people can't tell when you're actually making points and when you're joking. You treat them exactly the same.
Whoa, you're telling me that Knuckles is so powerful that he can just knock the Chaos Emeralds out of Supersonic? Like, yeah, you could say that it's because Supersonic was caught off guard by Knuckles, but isn't that kind of beside the point? Isn't Supersonic supposed to be invincible?
This is a topic that many fans have touched upon, and since the Genesis games don't really tell you much regarding lore and even plot, the only thing we can do is theorize. Since Knuckles showcases that he can use Chaos Energy from the Master Emerald to detect the Emerald Shards in the adventure games, and the Master Emerald can negate the Chaos Emeralds, my theory is that Knuckles used that same energy to bypass Supersonic's invincibility and knock the Chaos Emeralds out of him.
What's the point of continues in this game? There's a save system now, why bother?
The continues in this game actually allow you to continue your progress from the last checkpoint as opposed to the beginning of the level like the other games. It's just a form of added convenience.
Holy bananas. Like, how are we okay? Fire Breath set the entirety of Angel Island Zone on fire, and somehow we're okay?
Sonic and Tails are not human, Charriii. They may not be immortal, but applying the same frail limitations of normal humans to a blue supersonic hedgehog and a fox with 2 tails that he can use as a propeller is stupid.
You know, I just realized something. In Sonic 1, you reached a special stage by collecting 50 rings and jumping into the giant ring at the end of an act. In Sonic 2, you have to collect 50 rings and jump into a ring that spawns when you hit the checkpoint, but when you do that in Sonic 3, it takes you to a bonus stage, not a special stage. Those are reached by giant rings again, except this time they're hidden throughout the levels, and you don't need 50 rings anymore. Pick a gimmick! What are the rules, damn it?
There are no real rules to accessing the special stages. It's just whatever new method the designers can come up with. Of course, that did lead to a few bad ways of getting to the stages, but it also led to some good.
Dude, what does Tails eat? He's snacking on those bombs like it's nothing!
That would be a combination of in-universe toughness and gameplay invincibility, which funnily enough got its own Dorkly skit.
Almost 30 years later, and people still don't know how to pronounce this damn level's name, all because of a single missing space. I mean, come on, people. Everyone knows it's pronounced Hydro.
I did read in a post once that Yuji Naka stated that he thinks it's Hydro City, but I can't find the post anymore, so I'm just gonna say that there's no real right or wrong way to say it. If you think it's one way or the other, feel free. No one's gonna stop you. Also,
I mean, come on, people. Everyone knows it's pronounced Hydro.
Bro, do you even count?
You know what? I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I should not have gotten this Chaos Emerald. I don't know how I managed to weasel my way through these red spheres, but I should be dead. Well, okay, not dead, but I should have failed the special stage.
Or you unlocked your inner Chad gamer and pulled off a miraculous feat. Besides, I've encountered a few instances of getting out of seemingly unavoidable failure myself.
So wait, why can Tails fly infinitely here of all places?
Because there's no ground here? If Tails had his limited flight here, it'd be nearly impossible to win this.
We interrupt Sonic 3 and Knuckles to bring you Michael Jackson's Jam. No, the song.
Ignoring the fact that Michael's producer, Brad Buxer, made these songs, Charriii makes a pop culture reference.
This one just looks like a dick.
Charriii says boner, and no it doesn't.
I never understood why this one was so hard. You hold up when going up, you hold down when going down. Kind of like a swing, but this one's for all of you who had no idea what the hell to do.
And this is from little kid me who could never get past this part. Thank you very much.
I've never known what the hell this boss does. As far as I'm concerned, all he does is throw a ball.
That's because you destroyed it too quickly. This is what it actually does.
interrupt Sonic 3 and Knuckles to bring you Hard Times by the Jetsons. No, not those.
Charriii makes a pop culture reference.
We interrupt Sonic 3 and Knuckles to bring you the Metropolis boss fight from Sonic 2.
Charriii makes a video game reference that's not even entirely accurate given the bosses in question have different attacks.
So, minor pet peeve, I don't really care, but I know the community does. When playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they remove the big arm boss fight for Sonic and Tails, and only Knuckles gets to fight him. But why? It's such a better boss fight than the Egg Rocket, which kind of just does nothing.
Agreed.
We interrupt Sonic the Hedgehog to bring you Super Mario.
Charriii makes another video game reference that is only half accurate given the shape of the mushrooms in both games.
Does it really matter that Knuckles is looking around? I mean, the button is out in the open and right in front of the door. I don't think it matters if someone sees you. Not to mention, there are 77 of these things out in the open, 34 from this room onwards. What's hiding one behind a door gonna do?
I'll give you the first one, but most of the giant rings are hidden in semi-obscure places. Plus, I'm willing to bet that most players don't even know all the locations of the rings without a guide.
Aye, oh, let's go. Aye, oh, let's go.
I don't get it.
You know, for such a creative boss, you'd really think it'd learn to stop attacking itself just because I'm standing on top of it. I'm pretty sure it could still crush me without committing to squishing me all the way.
If it could, why doesn't it? Even when you're standing right on the edge of it, it still commits to crushing you because that's what it's programmed to do.
Ugh, Sandopolis. It's long and slow and boring and long.
I may not exactly hate this level, but I can agree it's the worst in the whole game.
Wow, that was a mini-boss, I guess. I just sort of waited there until it jumped into the quicksand on its own.
That's only one of 3 ways you can fight the golem. The other 2 involve smacking it continuously until it ends up in the quicksand, or waiting until it comes to the edge and then smacking it over the edge. Both of which involve actually attacking it.
Ah yes, my favorite Sonic 3 mini-boss, the Five Nights at Freddy's endoskeleton.
Which one?
Sonic has the strongest and yet somehow the weakest super form ever. He can literally destroy all enemies in his vicinity with the push of a button, but he gets defeated by a tumbling boulder.
Pretty sure that's just a way to attempt to prevent you from using Hypersonic in the following boss fight. And even then you can still use it if you have enough rings. Also,
he can literally destroy all enemies in his vicinity with the push of a button, but he gets defeated by a tumbling boulder. This is
the ding dang, but the counter's deaf.
This is one of Robotnik's best mechs. It's impervious to intense heats, not even lava can melt it, and it can't even be damaged by Hypersonic. The only thing that can somehow damage it are the spikes it tosses at you. And he never stops to think, maybe I shouldn't shoot these spike balls. I think they're hurting me, or maybe I should make another invincible mech like that.
I agree with the stop shooting the bombs bit, but the invincibility only applies to gameplay. I guarantee you, if you were given Hypersonic scan stats, that mech would melt.
How did Knuckles manage to get up after all that? He got bodied by Hypersonic, electrocuted by Robotnik, and then he fell like 15 feet onto the ground head first. He should probably be dead.
I'm sure he would be, if he were human, but like with Sonic and Tails, he's not. He's an anthropomorphic echidna that can smash through all manner of rock and metal, climb up walls with the spikes on his hands, and can glide with his dreadlocks. He's obviously tough enough to take all that, and even then he shows signs of exhaustion later.
So, in Knuckles' version of this fight, you also have to fight Super Mecha Sonic, and how does that work? Like, how can a robot achieve a super form? To be fair, I don't know how anyone achieves a super form, but something about a robot doing it just doesn't seem possible. Did Eggman program that ability in? How? It's not like he knew the Master Emerald existed before coming here. When did he build Mecha Sonic Mark II? Why can't it just use the Master Emerald to transform? No one else has done that before.
Super forms are usually achieved by either absorbing the 7 Chaos Emeralds or absorbing enough Chaos Energy. The Master Emerald has far more Chaos Energy than the Chaos Emeralds, so achieving a super form by absorbing some of its energy is more than possible. As for how Eggman programmed that ability in, well, since Knuckles trusted Eggman enough to get close to the Master Emerald, it's safe to say that he studied it to learn how to use it properly and then program the information into Mecha Sonic. If he can do it for a giant mech in Death Egg Zone, he can do it for Mecha Sonic.
And while we're on the subject of super forms, what the hell is up with Super Tails? Not only does he need the Super Emeralds to transform at all, not just the Chaos Emeralds, why does he suddenly have 4 flickies following him around? What, the powers of a god aren't enough for him?
If you play Sonic 2 with just Tails, he isn't able to use the Chaos Emeralds to transform. The likely reason for that is that he doesn't know how to use them in that game. Same applies in this game until he unlocks the Super Emeralds, where he finally understands their power enough to transform, but not enough to use them to their fullest, which is why he has his
Flicky army of death.
to help him. He also doesn't have the army in Mania because he likely knows how to use the emeralds fully at that point.
This part isn't hard per se, it's just annoying to try and hit all 6 bumpers, especially because you have little control and the bumper's always moving. Makes it extra hard when there's only 1 or 2 left.
Seriously? It's not that annoying. I get that not everyone's as skilled of a gamer as I am, but the bumper moves slowly enough to where you can hit them easily if you try.
Red Eye is one of the most annoying bosses in a Sonic game when fought without a super form. His first phase, while not the worst, still spams you with a bunch of spikes while trying to maneuver through his rotating orbs, and holy shit, his second phase. You have to hit it while dealing with these fast orbiting platforms that have spikes at the bottom, meaning you can't jump underneath them, while it shoots a laser underneath itself, meaning that just standing on one of the platforms can lead you to getting hit, but you need to in order to hit the Red Eye in the first place.
For this sin in particular, since Charriii likes to be objective when it comes to gameplay, I made a post asking if you all felt the same about this mini-boss. And at the time of recording this, the current results are 59% of people cheese it with Super or Hypersonic, 26% think it's not so bad once you get the pattern down, and only 15% agree that Red Eye sucks. Again, I get that gameplay is very subjective, but if A, the majority of people who saw this post agree that it ain't so bad, and B, most people do have the Super/Hyper form to Cheez-Its, which you make a point of it only being hard without one, you might need to get good. Not to mention, I watched your streams, and you panic way too easily. If you want some advice, the way I fought Red Eye is by being patient, attacking once, and immediately running to the other side of the room after each attack. It's slow, but it worked.
Wait, so his fingers can crush me, but I'm safe because I'm spinning? Why don't other bosses work like that? Like the one in Lava Reef Zone.
No subtitles for that last part. Charriii doesn't properly edit his videos, cliche.
Again, what is Hypersonic's power level? He can eat a bunch of the final weapon's rockets, which are the only thing that can damage the final weapon in phase 1, but he can't damage the final weapon directly in this phase?
Like with the Hotmobile, the invincibility in this phase is for gameplay purposes only. While Hypersonic's exact power level isn't directly specified, many have come to the conclusion that since the colors Hypersonic flashes are the colors of each emerald, and the Chaos Emeralds were enhanced by the Master Emerald, Hypersonic has the power of Supersonic with a 7 times multiplier, to give you a general gist. You can already annihilate most of the normal bosses in this game with Hypersonic as is, and you expect to one-shot a boss designed to be fought with Super or Hypersonic?
So it's not in the And Knuckles DLC, but the original Sonic 3 had a credits theme that was used as the basis for Michael Jackson's Stranger in Moscow, and I was gonna make a joke that went, Stranger in Moscow? I hardly know her in Moscow. But now it's just forced since I had to explain the joke, and now I'm mad.
I'm salty I can't make a joke, and that is a sin. Why? Screw you, that's why.